Yep, exactly. The same spots every single time. What's interesting here is so far, and we have, this is what, the last week of the month, right? Or do we have one more week? This is the last week of the month. Oh, what the fuck? Why is all my shit in like Chinese? Only my clock. Like a bunch of Chinese numbers underneath. Look at this. Does anyone else's look like this? I posted it on the no, on my Google Calendar. Posted it in the chat. Yeah, what the fuck? Maybe it's like a Chinese holiday or something. Um, yeah, maybe. What's interesting here about the monthly is like our monthly ATR is 332. So our average trading range for the monthly is 332, and from here we've got a high of 4194.75 and a low of 4096. So you're looking at like 102 points. So you're about 200 points less than our normal monthly range. So either volatility is definitely compressing and back, and we're getting back towards, when we have these up moves, right? We're going back all the way. Here's COVID right here, and then 2021 you get real small months and they're all just kind of trading up, and then 2022 hits, we get some downside, big volatility kicks in, and we get some, big ranges. So either that's happening and we're going to probably start just trailing up, or we're probably going to get some volatility this week. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But that's definitely something that we want to be uh, watching out for. On the week, I mean, really no change to the monthly there. There. On the weekly, we're still one time framing up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Yesterday we had, kind of a look above and then come back in, and you could say we're in a weekly balance here now. So with that weekly high being last week's high, which was 94.75, and this low here being 96 half, right? And we know that that's kind of a weak low. Still above our equilibrium where we've seen just the market kind of be magnetically pulled to. Um, oh, um, but for the most part, we just gotta kind of pay attention. If we get above that previous week's high, then we'll be looking to see where the next high is, and that's at 42.08 half, that level that we've been talking about, and then up here where that gap starts, or the gap ends at the 42.20.75, right? Some space up there. Switching to the daily, right? We still kind of maintain this balance, and you know what? Like I was watching a couple of the videos back and just trying to see if we're on the same track or see if we've lost kind of track of what we've been talking about since the beginning of the year. And really, we talked about in the beginning of the year that we thought mostly the market was just going to trade sideways. And if you really look at it, here's the 31st, which was the last day, or the 30th. For the most part, yeah, we traded up, we traded back down, traded back up. Pretty sideways market for the most part, right? So really, we've got pretty much exactly what we expected, and so it'll be really interesting this week with some bigger earnings coming on, if they're going to get some actual market movement, or are they going to, capitulate and give it up. Switching to that profile from Friday here, you can see for the most part, we excuse me, we just balance with a little bit of excess on the high. You got a move down, and then what looked like nice buying tail came up, pushed it up. you get kind of the same thing. We still have these single prints here that haven't been filled. That's down basically right at the Globex low. They came right down to those single prints. So very mechanical level and a very weak level just going forward to pay attention to. I think you definitely want to be just kind of aware of that level. If it gets down there, there's decent odds that it breaks and we get some continuation. Our highest gamma level here on 0 DTE is that 4150. Here. 0 gamma is 4130, so the same kind of level where gamma flips negative. We have some call gamma up here at 4175, 4180. So any upside move kind of gets capped out by something like that. I could pull up the chart here. I'm also getting ready to start developing some different report with the COT to help that out a little bit or help it be more understanding. I just have to figure out how to make it into a table on Excel with all the data. But that'll be. I was gonna do it last night, and then I was like, you know what, I better just get some sleep. I'll do it this week. But yeah, you can see here, like, 4150 being that kind of big gamma level. You see the negative gamma really kind of kick on right here. 4165, we're below that right now, trading for 4155 half. And then you see that 85 is kind of where the gamma runs out. The market is in kind of a negative gamma state, so any selling or any break like of this 4150, most likely causes some selling by market makers, and maybe they push it back down, right? That put wall rolled back down to the 4,000. Thank you, John. And so that could mean that they're not really going to be defending that 4,100 as hard as they have been lately, right? We've seen it get defended really well. And remember this day here, this was where we looked at institutional money getting real long on this day, and you kind of see right from that excess. I mean, they didn't even let it get close. You see most of the volume done here last week. That was pretty much the lows, right? Anytime it got below there, got bought up. Even Globex last night got bought up from there. So something definitely we want to be paying attention to is this level here. So we'll just go ahead and it's a little Markarooski there. Switching directions now and kind of flipping over to the COT. So you can get the COT report from a variety of places, right? Just depends on kind of how you want to look at the data. I was just looking to see on the CME group, right? They have pretty clean data. You can kind of get exactly what you're looking for. You can look at the chart versus the future. You can basically, they have every product here if you wanted to look at it. A little bit easier, or I guess more visual way, is to just look at Trading Stir, and then they put the COT report out here. And so if we look, you get asset manager, institutional money. They are buying the market last week, and this is as of the 18th, right? So last Tuesday, they covered some of their shorts. They're still very net long. You see a million contracts long. About 500,000 short, a little bit under 500,000. You can see leverage funds added a little bit to the short, added a lot to the short, a little bit to the long, and then they put on a pretty big spread position. So typically when you see leverage funds put the spread, this is how they hedge. They spread against the downside because they're so short, right? They're about 84% short according to this. And then other reportables, you can see are also short. So for the most part, anybody that is of size that isn't in asset manager or institutional money is short. And so basically what we can look for based off of this is a downside break, right? If there is a downside break, let's say there's a downside break that would shear up some structure, would be to, really just this poor low here. So if we get a move down here below that 41.10 that doesn't sustain the downside, right? Doesn't take this excess down here. There'll be a nice swing long from down there, I imagine, depending upon the reaction to it there. Just because so many people are short and they've been sitting short for so long that they're probably going to be almost forced to cover at that point because they've been underwater for a decent amount of time. So that'd be kind of something that I'm looking out for today, just to going into today, or going into this week really, because I kind of am expecting a decent move just because of we have earnings here. We've got Coke was today. Tomorrow we've got Microsoft. After the close, Alphabet, which is Google. Then we got Meta on Wednesday, Amazon on Thursday, and surprisingly enough, Apple is actually next week, which is pretty surprising to me that they're not the same week. And then we have PCE on Friday. And if we take a peek over here, investing.com, we can see today really, we got a little bit of auctions here, but nothing really too stand out as you get the Korean GDP, but nothing really too crazy. But when we look at this week here, on Tuesday, we're going to get building permits, and so there might be a nice play on lumber here. And if you look over here, FinViz, and this is something I've been kind of trying to set up. Where do we want to go to? Groups. Go to futures. Out of here. And we look at the charts. Lumber should be under softs. Lumber. You can kind of see they've just been getting beat up. You could see commercial hedgers here pretty much neutral. We got large traders pretty much neutral. So everyone's kind of in a neutral position. So if we get building permits going down, right, that means a lot less people are going to be building, a lot less lumber is going to be getting used. And if we look at lumber on a longer time scale, this is up during COVID and then kind of came down, then came back down. But you can see over time, the average probably, is around like this 292 to 230. So it would make sense for, maybe a possible down move. If we get positive news, maybe this goes up, but you don't see the lumber market go up, you can probably get short. But if this goes down, I think the move is probably down no matter what. Just something I was looking at this weekend. Then on Wednesday, we get that core durable goods. We've got a little bit of oil inventories. Thursday, you get the GDP, so that'll be another big one. Initial jobless claims, right? Jobless market's been real strong, so we'll be paying attention for that, see any kind of weakness. And then Friday is the big news. It's that core PCE. That's what the Fed uses for the most part to look at inflation, right? And so that'll be something that we definitely want to be paying attention to. Going back to FinViz, we'll look at the map here. You can see year to date, we're starting to see a little bit of slipping. Microsoft's under 20, Google's under 20, right? Not that that's bad at all, but we've had all these big stocks over 20 for the most part, and you can kind of see Google and Microsoft not getting the love as far as like Amazon and Apple is. So that'd be just something to kind of pay attention to as we get into this week. The settle was 41.5675. We're pretty much trading like almost right at that. I think the key will probably be just to listen for any news. Really, there's not really a ton of news coming out today. Today might be another pretty balanced day. And remember, we're still sitting in that balance for the most part. We did have that move off of the high or one time framing lower. So any break of this high would indicate that, most likely the buying from the overnight session was larger trader because it breaks the, gets the cessation of the one time framing lower. But any failure to break this high, this 4160, and then a return back underneath of that 4150 probably gets some more downside. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. We're opening up inside Friday's range. We're almost opening up right at Friday's POC. And so we're going to probably open up pretty choppy. You can see the larger 7-day profile on the right side here. And that's kind of telling us, we're opening up right in value. So a lot of business is going to be done. A lot of people are going to be preparing for the earnings this week, and that's going to cause, I imagine, a lot of movement. I think maybe this week might be the week to short the NASDAQ and get long on the Dow. I think that there's a possible trade there, maybe. Yeah, I mean, other than that, my plan today really is just to see to let the market breathe for a little bit and see if we can break this 4161 high and then start using that 4150 as support. Look to get long from there. Even if we get a nice little overnight inventory correction. Overnight inventory is 100% net short, but we've got to assume that we've got some trap shorts in the overnight because we basically recovered it all. So any failure to get back below, that overnight POC or even Friday's value area low probably brings us back up. But really, I'm kind of using that 4150 as the pivot today. If we can't get below that 4150, then I think we probably do take this 4161 high. So that'll be kind of the play that I'm looking for. And then below 4150, really just looking to kind of clean up these single prints down here. But we're opening up near the settle, so the breadth and everything should probably be pretty neutral. So no information there right off the bat. Our weighted AD is probably going to be pretty neutral, and then we'll pay key attention to our sector boxes. But I'm imagining that they're probably going to be fairly mixed heading into the session. We've got about 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Percentages. You want to do Reveille? You do Reveille. Oh, you guys won't be able to hear it on Discord anyways. Go to YouTube. Hear the real version. And there it is. They changed my website on me. I'm not a huge fan of that. All right, there's our open. It's a little bit here off of the open. Pop up right to Friday's settle there. Nice little Paparuski there. Let's see if we can take that high. That'll be the key here. Are they going to be able to take that high? Or are they going to get some selling and hold that excess? It looks pretty good.
I just stepped on now.
Yeah, nice directional move. Yeah. Yeah, because it would give us a cessation of one time framing. And so what it will do is it'll give the opportunity for responsive sellers to react, which is kind of what's happening now. They're getting a little reaction. But if we take the high, it's just the first indication of a possible, change. You're seeing a pretty decent reaction there. Nasdaq didn't pop at all, really, just still going down. So catching a little bit of a bid now, but let's see. Yeah, the key will be watch to see if they can break the open. They didn't break the open there, so the Nasdaq's actually kind of firming up a little bit. The Dow looks real strong, stronger than the ES. Yeah, yeah, and then we have this area up here where that weak structure's at. That's the area we were watching on Friday to see if that was our flip zone. If the market was able to get up there, then they could possibly flip the market positive. And so that's kind of that next level up, that like 63 to 67 ish area. Yeah, and then also the weak structure from the 20th, the holiday in America at least. 420. You guys celebrate that? 420? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Is that your birthday for real? Oh, happy birthday! Happy belated birthday, bro. I celebrated for you. You're welcome. I celebrate your birthday every year. Nice. Yeah, finally. Nasdaq just went on a tear off the low straight above the high. The Dow's pulling back now too. Back to but the Dow, I mean the Dow was just, fucking what it go 920. It just went up off of the open from 920 to 020. So it went up 100 points off the open. I caught about fucking 10 of it, but a terrible start to the day. Actually only 8 points. Yeah, 13050. Yeah. Yeah, it came down like 30 and then yeah, up 50. Hard too. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, like it found what it was looking for, that's for sure. Seems to be struggling a bit here though. Yeah. So selling to strength, right? Previous high, you want to be selling into strength. Don't screw yourself out of it being in a good position to not take profit at the high. You got these trap shorts here on this 58, with the offer coming in at the 60 there. Above that 60 with a bid, probably targets that 64. Nasdaq's doing a nice job of moving higher. A little bit of resistance there off the high. The Dow's not really participating here. Move up. Still this high volume, node kind of being the magnet pulling us back, this 59. So, if there's a move up or a move down, especially we're only in a 7.5 point range or 7.75 point range, if it shifts, especially if it shifts down lower, you want to be paying attention. Like I said, I don't think there's really much trouble for the market until it gets below this 4150 and stays down there. That's when some more sell side probably comes in. But until then, you know, obfuscate to the upside. Yep. Decent bid stepping up here, trying to, but looks like running into a little bit of resistance. There we go. Decent offer stepped in up there, 62. Oh, come on. The fill on that. Sometimes the NASDAQ doesn't give you what you need. Like, it doesn't give you the fill that you need somehow. Shit. That's just 55 level. It kind of looks like some buyers just got stuck here on 61, 61 half. And you're starting to get a little bit of an offer trying to come in. Right, and that's similar to what we talked about, right? We see this next area of resistance being basically right here, a little bit big, right there. A little bit of buying stepping up there, though. So. Nasdaq still looking strong. But this is basically like an area where sellers kind of have the opportunity to respond, right? Responsive sellers have the opportunity to kind of step down, hold this trapped long inventory hostage, and sell again, which would just kind of bring us back into balance, right? With that 4150 kind of being that level. I like that 4155 level for a nice pullback if it gets there. Didn't quite get there though on that push. But above this, right, if we do kind of unlock the inventory above that 75-80 level becomes kind of that next look up where there's possibly some selling inventory. Dow's starting to firm up a little bit here as well. Decent bid trying to step in the NASDAQ, but it looks like they're getting kind of ran over. NASDAQ pops this 13,130 where this buyer's at. Nice. Now we should see some more buying pop in. Which earnings? Big earnings. Let's see. AO. Nice. Dow's going up. Nasdaq's doing a nice little recovery. Watch the 13,130 level. If you get buying above that on the Nasdaq, then there's some definite upside. Now you're seeing the VPOC shift up here, and we should see a nice little Paparuski. Everything's kind of on board here. Not really huge. There it goes. You can see tech 41% up. Healthcare basically sitting flat. Consumer discretionary is up decent. All right, for the most part, all of our sector boxes are green. We've got our breath green. NASDAQ AD is a little bit red. Tick holding above 0. So everything for the most part, telling us these pullbacks are still the spot. Not a huge fan of us not holding above there. NASDAQ's starting to come down a little bit now. You're seeing some rotation back and forth here between some of these higher from Dow and Nasdaq stocks. Nice. That was on a nice one. See if the Dow can go get its high. That should bring us up. See tech losing some steam here a little bit. Some shorts just got stuck on the NASDAQ down here, 17. See if they get stuck again. If they get stuck again, we'll buy them. Oh, they pushed them. Another offer coming in on the NASDAQ. We had stuck shorts here 60 to 59 earlier. I still kind of like this 55 area below us. The shorts start to cover right there. That 110 area is holding, Roach. Yeah. NASDAQ, you can't really like, fucking that thing never holds like a specific. If anyone ever tells you I called NASDAQ to the tick, you're like, yeah, whatever. Fuck out of here. That's why the profile, it's a little bit harder to find mechanical levels on the profile for the NASDAQ just because it is like, just like run all the stops and then go back up. It's such a thinner market than the ES or the Dow. So on this next move at the high here, you can see, the ES kind of pushing on the high here. Take a peek at tech, right? Tech was at 45 last time we were up here. Right now we're only at 35. Healthcare is picking up the steam from that, or the slack from that here. And that's the Dow there being a little bit stronger. But we would like to see tech, get back to where it was at and start, believing in the up move rather than just kind of fall apart. And honestly, you're not looking at a terrible fade from here either. Like if that's what you're looking for today, there's an opportunity to set up the fade here with basically minimal risk. Maybe like a 4-point stop, 5-point stop. Looking to trade back down to the open. 4150 is like a magnet. So if it can't go up, that's probably where it's going to go back down to. Nasdaq trying to catch a bid. Oil's catching a decent bid too. I took one off the Nasdaq right there. I got one left to break even. Yeah, I got long at 10. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to sit in the trade if they were gonna trade the same. I got long again that 775, 107.75 there. Not really doing anything for me though. There we go. Stuck shorts in the Nasdaq now. Could see some short covering here. Yeah, for real. Come on. You know you want to get over that 20 at least. Look at tech though, like down at 28 now. So basically, the ES been kind of sitting up here at the high, and tech just kind of been trailing down or lagging, not not popping up or giving the gas. I was trying to help out here. Yep. Until you're still like you know what I mean, like that short opportunity still setting up. Hasn't gone anywhere to kind of fade the market. Maybe being a little bit ambitious, thinking it's going to come back to 4150, but there's not. Um, you're not getting that juice from the Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq's puking them up now a little bit. Oh, from your long from earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get stuck there again on 60. Looks like. But the Nasdaq game, the offer keeps moving lower. Here comes B period. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, the offer's not not moving lower. It's just accumulating. And you basically got like what I like to think of as profit targets, basically all the way up to 66. You just keep getting stuck buyers there. Like, I mean, you're getting stuck shorts here around like that 59.60. But you're getting stuck longs around like 63 to 62. So someone's gonna have to give here. And if I had to bet, it would probably be that the buyers are gonna quit because the Nasdaq's not participating in this move. Nasdaq's puking them actually. Yeah. Dow's coming down now as well. So if you took the short, as we're coming back to the Globex high, right, you want to be peeling one off. Two here. We're still moving down pretty decent. Let me just peel one off. And I got stuck on fucking 58. Dow caught a bid as well. It was kind of a weak look here. They're still selling them though. We'll see some decent offers trying to come in here. Yeah, fuck. I've got my stop at break even. I only pulled one off. Let's see if they reoffer the 61 half. Put it back on, but if not, I'll just have to bail. It was a decent little fade though, you know, couple points. Oil's catching a bid now. Nasdaq's puking. Here we go. No rebid on that 59 either. A little bit lower, there's a bid, but this 59 is where it kind of bid from, so that must have been just short covering there. Taking another one off right here too. Again, I'm not gonna do the rotation. Short stuck again there, 57 half ish. Nasdaq's right at its open. Maybe it catches a bid here and starts to turn back. I wanted to cover this thing at 55. Actually, like 53. Just look at how much selling there is in comparison, right? So you've got like, I mean, even if we just start right here, you've got 3,000, 2,500, 1,600, 1,600, 1,300, 1,400, right? You've only got two spots over here that have even just 1,000 lots, where pretty much everything over here is 1,500 almost. So you're getting definitely more people moving down to hit the bid, but the market is not moving lower. So kind of a weak kind of look, I think. I might take profit on 55, in case we get a nice little liquidation. Back inside yesterday's range as well. You see like a rotation basically out of the NASDAQ into the Dow, right? Dow's pretty heavy financial, healthcare, and then tech, obviously. NASDAQ, pretty heavy tech. And you've gone from, we were up 35 NQ or 35 tech, and then now we're at 30 healthcare. So pretty easy to see rotation there from XLK to XLV. Got short stuck on the fucking low again. Nasdaq's back above its open. Basically just at its open. It's kind of flirting with the open here. Tesla's looking pretty weak, kind of just sitting on its low. I flattened out everything, probably just in time for the market to puke, but it really just feels like it's gonna pop, so I don't want to sit in that short any longer. I'll be right back. Surprise, surprise! Classic, classic failure of sellers to fucking do anything at all because they're worthless. Everything's pumping. Yeah, the price action's pretty abysmal, that's for sure. So the ES made a new high, the Dow did not, NASDAQ, not even close. Hawk shifts up. A lot of selling and the market can't go lower right there. There you go. Decent offer. NASDAQ's coming down hard here. Right below its open. Watch this 59.75.60 level here. You bid if they rebid this level, these shorts will get stuck. Shorts are trying to move down here. Yep. See, fucking worthless. Nasdaq's back above its open. Offers trying to stabilize like 61.5. These sellers are, but bids are stepping up on 61. If they get stuck or if they lift. Decent reoffer there. I have last chance to look for buyers here until they get down to. Well, sellers are still getting stuck there. But sellers definitely got that one. They can offer underneath of the 58 or something. Buyers look like they might be getting stuck now on 60.75. Right here. Watch to see if a bid comes in. If no bid comes in, this thing probably moves down. If a nice bid comes in, you're looking back 63.5 again. Basically just having to scalp today because there's just no movement. There's just nothing going on. No bids coming in yet. Some bid, but it gets down ticked. Nasdaq's trying to catch a bid here. There's a buyer stepping in there. And they uptick them. 61.5. Watch this. 63.5's the target. Standard Chartered says that Bitcoin could hit 100,000 by the end of 2024. Close your eyes and buy. It's supposed to hit 1 million is what it's actually. That's like the. Yeah. Yeah. I remember Ramon telling me that it was going to 100K. I was like, not right now. Well, I mean, like, so there's so much speculation on like what's going on, right? We don't actually know anything because 95% of the media is controlled by government entities, so they just tell us exactly what they want us to think. But like, with the whole dollar situation for China, Russia, Saudi Arabia trying to collapse the dollar or take the dollar off the kind of world reserve currency. One, they're going to have to stabilize their own currency, so it won't be China and it won't be Russia. Saudi Arabia is kind of partnering up with Russia and China for the military. That's kind of why they were our partners, was for our military. Um, they're kind of switching hands there, but there's no shored up currency over there. So probably what happens is it rotates back to the fucking euro, and then they're gonna have to. I mean, they're trying to roll out these CBDCs, right? There's all kinds of paperwork, all kinds of documents. If you read about them, like that's that's probably the ultimate goal. It's just a matter of getting there and how much time it takes and how they get there without destroying. Because I don't imagine that the U.S. wants to destroy the economy just to accomplish that goal, right? Um, and so sellers just got stuck again on that 60 half. They suck. Um, Go ahead, Kevin. No, I was pretty much done. Yeah. Right. Most probably, yeah. And that's kind of like that backdoor route that we talked about, right? Where the US kind of goes, you know what? Fuck you guys, Europe. Like we already got bases all around in your shit anyways, so if you guys start some shit, we got bases there anyways. And we're like, hey, Russia, hey, China, you guys might have something going with that, communism. We might like that. And easiest way to control, a nation is to control the money. Or any, yeah, because, well, in turn you control all that stuff, yeah. So should be peeling some off here, guys. If you took that long, right here, 63, this is kind of the target area. Take some off right here. More shorts trying again this 62 quarter, but they're kind of getting stuck as well. Exactly. And so like it could just be a gigantic fear for everyone to buy that, and then in reality, boom, it just collapses, and they're like, "Oh, you're broke now? Well, here's some CBDCs. Take some of these and go ahead and buy yourself a couple loaves of bread, guy." Like, because I know you're starving now because you don't have any fucking money. Yeah, I can't believe the law that Biden's trying to pass, where if you have a shit credit score, you get like discounts on your mortgages, and if you have a good credit score, you have to pay fees. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's just bullshit. Yeah. Oh, I watched it. It was sad. Sad. Well, they say like being the president. I mean, look at Obama for his first before he got elected, right? He looked young, spry, fucking ready to kick some ass, and then once he started finding out how shitty those high politics are. I mean, he comes from Chicago too, so that shit's not the best. But like, that fucking put a tear on his body. He looked at the end of those 8 years, he looked old. Yeah. And so Biden, already fucking 78, president for 3 years now. It's like like 9 years, 10 years, just in those 3 years. And like no matter what, like you can say, oh, I'm just as sharp as I was 10 years ago. You might be smarter, but the recovery for things, it's natural in the human body, right? When you're 20 years old, you go on a 10-mile run. The next day, you can go on another 10-mile run, right? But if I try to go on a 10-mile run today, yeah, I'll make it. But I try to go another 10-mile run the next day, I might not, I might not be ready for that 2 days in a row. I good thing you took that profit up there, huh? Like the scalpiest of scalp trades today. It's just ugly. Yeah, you're talking about Ukraine, right? Yeah, there's like a bunch of executives. Yeah, I saw that. Well, the whole Mercedes thing though is kind of for Americans, we look at Mercedes as like a high end luxury car, whereas in Europe, Mercedes are pretty common. And so like like that's I think is more of like a media type of thing. But yeah, I did see that they're doing fucking shit like sneaky shit like that where they're supposed to be spending money here and they're spending money there, or they're looking left and putting money on their right. Well, it's cheaper, and that's it's such a yeah, exactly. But you're trying to fuck somebody else up, but really you're fucking yourself up. That's kind of like what's happening is like it is a terrible thing, right? And it's you know as a human, you have to feel, empathy for other humans that are going through this. But in America, everyone is so sheltered when it comes to, you know, they're like, oh, we've been at war for 20 years. We need to get out. Like, well, fucking Palestine and Israel been at war for like fucking ever, like since the beginning of fucking time. So, like, you're like, it's not that bad here. So it's really just like they just don't have anything else to do, so they just got to complain about shit. And it's like, but what do we want to do? Do we want to be the world's Superman? Right? What's that Batman quote? Like, you either live long enough to be the villain, or die a hero, or live long enough to become the villain. You know, that's a fucking if the shoe fits there, kind of feels like Batman. Yeah, the taxis in Germany are Mercedes. Yeah. Well, that's like we get a lot of, or we're starting to get a lot of Genesis here in the United States, the Hyundai Genesis, which are nice cars, and I'd see them, everywhere in Korea. Yeah, but in Korea they're just everywhere. Finally, fucking break. That was at the high as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mostly just showing. To me, it looked mechanical. It looked like people were kind of buying this level back. So probably everyone that's short from Friday, every time we got back to this excess, they just bought it back, bought it back, bought it back. So old business for the most part, I think. If it was initiative, we probably would trade right up to that 70. And we might, definitely possible, but it just looked like all of these, anyone who was short from Friday decided, you know what, fuck that, I'm covering here. And we're back up in this kind of weak structure where there's still some longs trapped too. The longs trapped up here above 65, 66. That's kind of why I think we get that selling up there. Because it looks like, seller comes in here, 63, and an offer comes in, but that the offer doesn't look like it wants to move down lower, especially because it's running into all the old business covering their positions up. Now a poor high, exactly. So no initiative buying. No one really willing to make the move. And we're still, in balance for the most part. Honestly, the whole year is pretty much in balance. I mean, if you think like, where's the beginning of the year here? So first of the year was the low on the first traded day of the year was 84.14 half. And the high is that 28 or the high is that 42.08 half. Or no, what's this high here? Dash high. Yeah, 42.08 half. Yeah. So like we've just been inside those two levels all year. And that high was made in February, the low was made in January. We're in April, the end of April now, so we've had another, 2 months to move out of that range. We looked back down to the low. The March low was 38.40.75, and then we've this high so far in April was that 94.75 from last week. So I mean, you're in like a huge balance, and so like a breakout of this balance really is gonna, just probably be a killer for a lot of people, I imagine. And I'm kind of inclined to bet with the upside just because, you know, leverage funds are all positioned short. And they've been positioned short pretty much all year. And they've been shorting pretty much all year. And so, if you can't get a break, they're gonna have to cover eventually. Just waiting on a catalyst, really. Once the market kind of starts deciding, oh well, it's time to go up. And then, once the fear goes away. Where's the I heard on Tasty Trade that there's a new VIX product out today. The 1-day VIX. The Dow put a poor high in as well. Nasdaq's puking. See if we get that pullback to 155. You're just looking at basically buyers just shutting off here, right? Like, you even if you look at the 1 minute, kind of this poor high look here at this 1 minute, and then we get a poor high confirmed on a 30 minute, showing us that there's lack of initiative buying, and we basically give it all up. 55 is a VWAP. Nasdaq's breaking its low. Seeing the weighted AD go red here. What's this 57 half? Good. Ooh, Dow's starting to play along as well. Nasdaq's puking them. I'm stuck shorts on that 53 half there. Get a pretty big flip there. They just chew through the VWAP like it's not even there. And you're getting one of those fair value gaps here below the VWAP where the liquidation's at. And C is an outside bar, takes the high and the low of the range. Still pretty mild range here, 13 points. Definitely see volume pick up a little bit here. Decent little reoffer there. Remember, there's buyers stuck at 57. Or still comes down. I'm long this 52.75 right here. I'll add on 50 if we get down there. My stop just below. Might have been a little bit early. Definitely an offer moving lower here now. Never fight one time framing. Are we one time framing? Really just kind of an outside bar here. Nasdaq's puking them hard. That was almost down to its low. We're definitely, I mean, the trend is definitely flipped to the downside. Yeah, for sure. I was more just looking for that reaction off of the 50. Yeah. They really don't want it to back up. Sellers don't want to lift this thing back above 50. Back above 50, you probably see more short covering. It's kind of what this looks like down here. Below 50 looks like kind of short covering here. Doesn't really look like strong buying or anything. Sell side continues. More short covering. Watch back above 50. Yeah. Jason over here doubting me on the YouTube. I don't know, Jason. Uh, I mean, it's definitely like it definitely did, kind of puke up. It's more of an outside bar though, not really a trend. Kind of just like a liquidation followed by some selling, and then we get the short covering underneath the 50, which is what we expect. I got in at 52.75 and then full position at 50. So, I'm sitting basically at a scratch right now. You might be seeing some buyers get stuck here on this 51. Yeah. The 50 is like a magnet. It's the high gamma level. So we can kind of assume that, you know, it's going to act as a magnet. Not really any bids stepping up here, though. More or less just kind of short covering going on, like basically at the 50, below the 50. Might be some stuck shorts down there on the 47.5. But no follow through. What was that opening range low? It was 53. Decent offer moves down there underneath 50. See if they can get continuation. Offer trying to come in here. 49.5, 49 quarter. Swallowed up. Consumer discretionary got beat up pretty bad there. Damn. We got 10 minutes until the next period opens up. Yeah, I know, Jason. I'm just messing around. And it was in my plan to buy the pullback to this 50. I got in, one lot got in a little bit too early, but the other four are doing pretty good. Now we're getting some more stuck sellers here. 51, 50, 75. Buyer's going to need to get a bid though above the 57, I think, if they want to get anything going. If not, they're just kind of, more or less just passing out free candy on Halloween here. The 246 go offer, no bid step up right there. Gonna try to offer against that 53, 53.75. There's the offer. Yep. Interesting, the Dow never took its low there. Dow might be lagging. But watch to see if a bid steps up here. You have an offer that kind of moves down here to this 50, 49 half, 49 area. If they get a bid back above 50, you could see these shorts start to cover and look to sell, back where they started, well, where they got trapped, and then where they really started again, which was that 58, 57 area. I know I'm kind of talking my own book there, but just kind of what looks like is happening. So it's an offer really trying to hold this 50 though. You guys see the offers on 50, right? Like they're really holding or trying to hold this 50 level um as the area. They want to go lower. We could say the low is mechanical, basically right off the Globex VPOC. We've got a big, kind of volume nodule here at like 52.5, basically right at the A low. You see the offers kind of stacked there, but I think they're offering this 53 half level more, which is the open. Trying to get some decent volume down here as well. Or covering there. There's D period, so we open up with some single print. So now we'll actually get some more MGI here. I've got to assume there's a decent amount of trapped inventory, long inventory up here, right above yesterday's high, and then the selling inside that weak structure as well, from yesterday, like the 66, 64. Decent offers coming in now. There's the break. 2 ticks. Oh, way to do a poor high and a poor low. Classic. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, just pin it to 150 or 4150. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. 71 contracts trade on that low tick. And on the high tick, we got how many contracts traded up there? 200. Hello? First Republic Bank shares are up 10%. They were up at like 150 and then got like beat down to like $12. What's their ticker? FRC. Yeah, they went from like 123 down to 11. They're trading 16 almost right now. Nasdaq coming back down to the low. Dow trying to come back down to the low as well. See, the Nasdaq breadth has gotten pretty bad here. 3.4, and the Nasdaq's been, the weaker bit all day for the most part. Taiwan says they're tracking a Chinese carrier group off its southeast coast. Walt Disney's beginning to do a second round of layoffs. Offer trying to step in here on the 48. Be careful with your short if you are short. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by that, to be honest. Like, I feel like they just are nothing but like a profit um, machine for the most part. Yeah, watch this 48 level, guys. If you start to bid above it, this thing could get a little short covering rally. You see a lot of shorts came in. They didn't really get any downside there. He extended the range by like 3 ticks, 2 ticks. Back to 150. I want to get long the Nasdaq. Watch the 48 here. Let's look to see if it rebids. If it rebids, then we probably pop up. If there's no rebid, then this thing probably does go lower. Decent bid. Offer trying to move lower. like to see like some, some 200s start to hit, right? Not these weak ass 48s, 47s. You're not really getting a lot of big bids there. You're getting a decent offer underneath here. It's not getting a ton of down ticks. There they go. Some offers really trying to step in here. Missed the low by 1 tick that time. There they go. Now they're starting to try to sell the low tick there. The Dow came right down to its low and bounced. Nasdaq's not quite at the low yet. It's only about 2 handles above, so odds that it keeps going. .48 level here again is going to be the level. Dow's catching a little bit of a bid. A little bit of short or like liquidation, or I guess short covering from shorts there. Kind of gave it up right there to get it back to the 48. And they reoffered that 48 quarter, 48. No reoffer of 48 that time. Starting to get good volume down here as well. The longer the market fails to close these single prints, the better the odds are that longs are going to have to liquidate as well. So let's keep that in mind. I wonder what's going on with consumer discretionary. What? Oh, Tesla. Tesla. And Tesla's getting fucking hammered. Damn it. Oh my. I closed my Tesla short on fucking Friday like a little bitch, too. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I let the outside powers influence my thought process. Mistake. My original take profit on Tesla was 154.81. Closed on Friday like a machine. There's the offer coming in at the low here. 46 quarter. Get kind of sucked in here. That 1,500 lots trade on that low there. Where was our next gamma level down? Big one, 41 quarter, 41.25. And underneath of this 32-ish area, probably underneath the 35 at Friday's low, I think there could be some big liquidation come from under there. That's where those, according to the COT report, that institutional money kind of started buying. So below that, kind of think that's where the market gets kind of real ugly. The breadth on the Nasdaq still holding that 3-to-1. You're starting to get the AD on the Nasdaq 1,000. That's starting to get even worse. Healthcare really the only thing holding this thing up. Tesla Just looking like a bag of shit still. What's going on with Argentina? Oh, ooh, Dow's catching a nice bid here. I use it as like a magnet. Yeah, so kind of like if we go down below it and we don't get any continuation, then we'll probably come back to it. And if we go up above it and we don't get real continuation, then we probably come back to it. You know, that's kind of where, you know, at least my understanding of how the gamma level works. I'll be right back. I could watch conspiracy theories like all day, I feel like. So you're getting what looks to seem like stops there, 49, 49 half. So if you get a bid above that, you know, probably back up to that 53 half. 52 is where the offer's at up there. It's trying to climb above zero right now. Nasdaq breath's cooled off a little bit. Still not looking good, but cooled off. So that just lets you know, like, I mean, you could try a responsive long from here, but you're better off waiting to see a bid above 49 half to look for a long. The downside pressure just keeps continuing, so. So E period opens up. We get some more singles here. Singles close with some trap shorts on the low here. And watch the 49. Right, you bid above 49, 49 half, 49. That probably takes you back up to like the 53. That's where that offer was at before. The real offer, I think 57 half is kind of where it was at, but um, I'd like to see it get above 49 half before or any real or we can really think any upside. And I was just gonna say you can see, and this is a good reason to keep this 1 minute chart with the 50 moving average on your chart, so you can see the trend really get extended, right? See how far away we are from. That's basically what we're using the 50 moving average for, not for trading off of, for trend. And so you can see as the market, we get to this low, we make a couple more lows, couple more lows, couple more lows, but you can see the trend is kind of getting old, right? Not that we can't, continue down, especially if we can't get over 49 half. I think, maybe some more downside, but you can, that can kind of alert you to let you know, like, okay, maybe we're starting to slow down a little bit. What are you saying, Kevin? Yeah. I mean, they've got to do pretty much everything that they can to. They devalued their dollar. Yeah, well, yeah, and to get around sanctions. I'm sure there already are. Like, if we're hearing that they're going to be mining Bitcoin, they've probably been doing it for years now. Buyer's stuck on that 47 half right there. They need to get back above that to bid, or else they're going to be fucking trapped. Offer still holds. Fox fired Tucker Carlson. Well, it says they agreed to part ways, but we all know what that means. Fox. Fox fired Tucker Carlson. Like the news network? Yeah, it said they agreed to part ways, is what it said. Which is pretty surprising considering he's like their number one right wing person, isn't he? I don't watch, I just see like little clips of him every once in a while, and that's it. The most recent one I saw was he was just like bashing some Democratic senator about basically saying he wants to invoke like a buy all the guns back law or something like that. The Dow's now below its low. We're making a new low. Offer moves down to 44. You see that 383 lots move down there. Watch that 44 level. Still selling this thing pretty good. And you start to see, look, this is what we were talking about. So you start to see, right, as the market starts to flatten out, the trend starts to, get a little bit less down and more sideways, right? And we said doesn't mean it can't keep going down. It just tells you be aware. So if you're short, this is probably a take profit spot. And then that failure to get above that 49 here was that opportunity to get back into that short. Yeah, we haven't seen besides that C period, it's basically just kind of been trickling, and then finally a liquidation here. And that 44, that big offer is still sitting there, kind of holding the market lower here. See, tech's gone really red. Where's the Apple at? Apple didn't quite make a new low right there. The Nasdaq did though. The Dow did as well. Nasdaq's about to make a new low again. Oh, I see that big bid at the 40. Yeah. Where'd you have your stop at? Hmm. Yeah, that is annoying. Weighted AD still making, well, this one not yet, but pretty much still been making lower lows here. Was the bot gonna get calls? Hmm. Well, guys, market's getting pretty slow now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably wrap it up. Um, I mean, for the most part, we're just balancing. Yeah, we've got some nice single prints in the middle to trade against for sure. Um, we've got a nice ledge that formed on that 48, 49 levels, right? So I think you're probably safer waiting for a long above this level, right? If it gets above, there might be an opportunity for a long. Um, for the most part, we did a little look above, couldn't find any buyers, came back down, we're back below value, so maybe we expect to run into some buyers here. Um, in that lower range of Globex, we just see kind of short covering happen, right? And the market kind of bids up, offer moves down, doesn't actually trade, but then the sell continues. The Nasdaq being kind of the big driver of the day. Um, we look at if we do like a little comparison here, we change this to /NQ. You can kind of see here, right? The Nasdaq definitely leading the charge to the downside in comparison to the ES here. And that's really been, for the most part, especially with tech earnings this week, dragging the market lower. Um, just surprised it's not lower, to be honest. I thought we would be lower, but I guess they're still going to be holding this level. Remember this 32 level? This is that excess from the 10th. That's where we saw that COT report, big buying kind of stepped in. We did see some more COT institutional buying this week as well, up at the high. The report was from the 18th. And so that's why, this kind of aligns with trapped inventory here. There's that excess, pretty much that same spot. Um, and basically right where we got the selling. So some institutional longs probably covering their positions today. draw against some of that downside, I imagine. But yeah, other than that, you guys make sure that you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Later.